was that I was thinking that it is not possible, but if you're thinking, the first one will be there is a Z naught and you will keep pushing the number of A's. Okay, so when any number of A's, any number of B's, what it will be, you will just keep pushing on the stack any number of B's also. Okay, for C, because the number of B's totally combined will be equal to the number of C's. So by now seeing the number of C's, you will start popping it. Okay, so at the end of the stack, you will reach a Z naught. If you reach a Z naught, you can directly go towards the final state. So that is why for this particular question, you will be able to build deterministic pushdown automata, or more specifically, you call PDA. If okay, so keep in mind whenever there is something. So if PDA is possible, a deterministic pushdown auto, non-deterministic pushdown automata will always be possible. Okay, so keep in mind, because if you think that if you see the diagram of this one as this, so first of all, this is a regular language, and then there is a context-free language that is more specifically called a deterministic context-free language, and then there is a non-deterministic context-free language. Okay, so if our language is regular, it is automatically a context free as well as a deterministic context free. If it is a deterministic context free, it is already a non-deterministic context free. Okay, so if in other questions, if there is a yes in the starting, if there is a yes in the starting, in that case there is no yes in the starting. But if there is a yes, if a language is regular here, there is no need to check other things. Okay, so they will be always be a part of it. If you remember the analogy that I've told you in, I think in the tudes, that consider this as a lower post, consider this as a higher post official, and this is a higher post official. Okay, so the higher post official can do its work as well as it can do the work of the lower post officials also. Okay, so because how can he get to the higher, he and she get to the higher post by doing the work of the lower post. Okay, so that is the knowledge that I've told you. So if a particular acceptor is accepting the regular language, it can always accept the higher official, or higher acceptor can always accept the regular language or the lower class languages. Okay, keep that thing in mind. So that is why if I'm saying, if the language is regular, it automatically becomes a context free as well as a non-deterministic context free. Okay, so if you're seeing there, this is the context free language, so there is no need to check for deterministic context free. Okay, so in that case, there is only one case that we have seen till now, that is your WR. If you remember, for this this is not a, what you said, CFL or DCFL. So keep in mind, in any book, if you take any book, they will not specifically take a D in front of it. So if there is nothing written D here, you will assume that it's a D, but it can take if DCFL. Okay, so NCFL, this particular language is NCFL, but not DCFL, because I think we have able to draw, we are able to draw non-deterministic for this particular language. Okay. Okay, so now see this 7A question. I think it's a bit of an interesting question if you're seeing, because the B is a combination of A and C. Okay, so can anybody tell me, is this a regular? I don't think it's a regular, but can you tell me it is it a deterministic context free or not? Just let me check this chat box also. It's a very easy question, I think.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, can you please explain the 6th question again? Because there was a doubt.
6th or 7th? Or this one?
6th.
This one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think, yeah, for this question. Okay, so how can you solve this question if you want to draw a push down automata for this one? First of all, if there is a Z naught, you push the number of A's. Okay, so any number of A's can be pushed onto that. Okay, so after the number of A's are being pushed, now the C's are equal to the A's. Okay, so the C's are equal. Okay, so I don't think I have done this question. Okay, so the C's are equal to the number of A's. So how can you tackle this one? Okay, so the B's are equal to the D's and the C's are equal to the A's. Okay, so what you do, you just if I put B's onto the stack, so how can I calculate this M? Okay, so this sixth one. Okay, so I don't think there is any way possible that you can draw a push down automata for that. Okay, so that is I think I have not given you the answer of this also. Okay, so if you're saying I don't think there is any way possible, because if you think that you can push a number of A's here, but for B's, if you push the number of B's, the number of C's are equal to the number of A's. Okay, so it may be possible that the number of B's are gone, but it may be also possible that the number of B's are not gone. Okay, so I don't think, just let me confirm, I don't think that you can able to draw the automata for that one. So first of all, just take example like A3, B2, C3 and D2. Okay, so for this particular case, if I put the number of A's, it will be 3 here. Okay, so for B it will be 2. So if I pop it, okay, so in this case I pop it, I get a at the starting. So there are 3 A, 3 C's. Okay, so how can I check? Now if you're seeing the if you're seeing here, if I pop on seeing the number of B's, it may be equal, it may not be equal, because there is no dependency between A and B here, but it is a dependency between A and C. But I have to push this onto the stack because the number of B's are equal to the number of C's. So this is not like that I should not push this onto the stack. I have to push this because I have to count that the number of B's are equal to the number of D's, so that I have to push this B also. Okay, so if I do this way, that number of A's are 3 here, so I will push now number of B's also. So I push number of B's. Now how can I pop the number of C's? Okay, so the number of A's are equal to the number of C's, but I cannot push or pop by seeing the number of B's. I cannot pop by seeing the number of C's. I cannot pop the number of B's here. Okay, so there is no possible scenario for this one. So this is exactly not a deterministic context free, as well as it is not a regular one also. And there is another one, I think that I think I have explained it wrong, that this is not the answer here. So first of all, this is not a deterministic context free. I don't think there is another possibility that you can take another states, like if you take these two states. So this is also not a non-NCFL also. Okay, so the answer here, just let me confirm it. Yes, the answer here is no, no, and no. Okay, so just let me confirm from the solution also. I think it will be 3 no's. Okay, so okay, here it is no, yes, yes. For the sixth one. Okay, so the sixth one is this. Okay, so just let me confirm. Yeah, that there are 3 no's here. Okay, so I think we are doing the sixth one. Yes. For the sixth one, there is no, no, no. For the fifth one, we were doing sixth one. Yeah, number of A's and number of C's. Yes. For the fifth one, just let me confirm. I don't. We have done this question also. Fifth one. Okay, so I think I am going ahead of it. Okay, just let me take a look at this one. So here the number of A's. Okay, so that one is it's also done in the tute. So this is a very easy question. So what you do, the number of A's will be pushed automatically. After that, you push the number of B's also. So any number of B's can be pushed. But now the number of B's and number of C's are equal. Okay, so when the number of B's and number of C's are equal, you pop the number of B's. Now what you get, the number of D's here. So number of D's will be equal to the number of A's. So you can again pop it. Okay, so if you want to see the automata, I can also draw the automata for this one. The fifth is a raised to power n, e raised to power m, b raised to power n, c raised to power n, then there is a d raised to power. Okay, so the first scenario will be that you push the number of A's. So the number of A's will be a. First of all, there will be a z0. You will push a z0. And then there will be a, and then there will be you push the number of A's. Okay, in this particular thing, you can also there, if you want to change the state, you can change the state, but I do not prefer to change the state, because if you see a number of B's and at the top of the stack there will always be a number of A's, you will push the number of B's here, as well as if you see the number of there will be a B at the top of the stack. There will also another B can also happen. So it will be double B. Okay, so if it's something like this, A, B, B, and then the number of A's are equal to the number of C's will be CC, and then D will be something like this. Okay, so triple A and triple D, you can do this. Okay, so these are equal. So now in this case, when one B is there, it will be triple A will be on the stack, and then there is a B, the pointer will be on the B. So you again put the B here, and then there again the pointer will be ahead. So till here we have defined all the possible scenarios. After that you just start popping. Okay, so the number of C's are equal to the number of B's. So you can say that after seeing a C and at the top of the stack there should be always be a B. So you start popping. You start popping till you got to A. Okay, so you start popping till you got to A. Now what happened? By seeing a C, you will pop two B's. At the top of the stack, there will always be a A. So by seeing now after that, there will be a D. There will be a D come. Okay, so if you want to change the state, you can change. I think there is any need. Now in this state, if D is coming and at the top of the stack there is a, you again start popping it. Okay, so now the stack now by D you can pop A, another D, pop A, another D, pop A, and it will be empty. Now you can move on to the final state, that will be your Z0 and then Z. Okay, so a push down automata for this particular question can be done. So for the fifth question, okay, so fifth question, I think I've done it wrong here. So this is a yes, this is a deterministic. So if it is a deterministic, it will always be a non-deterministic one. Okay, so this fifth one is no, yes, yes, and this sixth one is a triple no. There is no, no, and no, and this seventh one is no, yes, and yes. Okay, so in this one, what is the particular reason? Because number of A's and number of B's combined will be equal to the number of C's. So there is no problem in that. So stack will always be empty. Now see this seventh A question. Okay, so seventh A is okay. So if you have any doubt, just ask me. I think in the previous lecture there is I think there I have written no multiple times. So that was wrong. So the answer for this fifth one, let me just confirm it also. The answer for this fifth one is no, yes, yes. Okay. So no, yes, yes, because I have already drawn the automata, Python automata for this one. And this one, if you see, I tried all the possible combination, I cannot do it. So PDA cannot be drawn for this if and non-deterministic push down automata is also not drawn for it. Okay, you can check it by seeing the, because there is no particular way to build. Always draw the push down automata. You just take a stack, and if you take a stack at every possible step will be clear to you. Okay, so there is no need to specifically build a push down automata. So you just take a stack, and if everything is right, you just say it that the push down automata can be easily drawn. Okay, so that is why I gave the stress to the one step that always draw the stack first before building a push down automata. Okay, now see this seventh one. Now seventh one is just saying that the total number of A's, combined A's and combined C's will be equal to B's. Okay, so there will be a very interesting scenario here. What can happen? So if suppose there is a number of A's is 3, number of C's is something like this is 2, because A is not dependent upon C, then the B will be 5. Okay, so if you push this, if you draw the stack, it will be very clear to you. So what you do, there is a Z0, you will push all the A's. Okay, so by pushing all the A's, now what will happen? By seeing the number of B's, you can pop it. Okay, so by seeing the number of B's, I am popping it. By popping it, I will reach Z0, and the B here will be 2. Okay, so I have seen. Okay, so I write like this: 3 A's, 5 B's, and 2 C's. Okay, so first I have seen this A, push it, seen this A, push it, seen this A, push it, then seen this B, pop it, seen this B, pop it, seen this B, pop it. Okay, so now there are 2 B's remaining. Now there are 2 B's and you are at Z0. Okay, so your stack is empty. Now what you do, you again start pushing the B's. Okay, so now when you push the B's, because this B's will again be equal to the C's. Okay, so now pop the B. Okay, so that is why you can build a deterministic push down automata for this one. So if deterministic push down automata is possible, so non-deterministic is always possible. Okay, so 7th A is also no, yes, yes. Okay, so just let me also confirm it, so I do not doing it anything wrong. Okay, so no, yes, yes. Okay, so now take the look at the 7B. Okay, so it's an interesting one. Now if you're seeing the number of A's are equal to the combined number of B's and C. Okay, so just take a scenario and tell me that it is, if it is because it is not a regular language, because there is a dependency between these B and C, so you cannot say that. So you have to tell this one. Okay, so C, tell me about B. Okay, so just let me also see where is my, just let me access the chat box. Just wait for a second. Okay, 7th B is no, yes, yes. Okay, so that is absolutely correct. No, yes, yes. Okay, so how it is? Yes, if you are taking a stack, so what the possible scenario can be here, it will be that the number of A's. Okay, so first of all, you push all the number of A's, definitely anything, any number of A's. Okay, so suppose the number of A's here is 2 and the number of B's here is 3 and C will be 1. Okay, so I have pushed the number of A's, 4 A's. Now by seeing 3 B's, you pop it. Okay, so again 3 B's, there will be, oh sorry. Okay, so there will be A and then A and then A. So by 3 B's, you can pop 3 A's and one, by seeing a 1C, you can pop this A. Okay, so the push down automata is possible. So you can directly say that this is a yes one. Okay, so now take a look at the 10th one. Okay, so 7th B, and then the numbering is a little off here. Okay, so tell me about this an and bn square. If you remember bn square, this is I'm not able to find any AP here. If you remember AP, so there is no common difference between it. So that absolutely is not a regular language. But tell me about this. If it is any possible stack here, so before attempting it, just try to write a little bit of a language to understand what exactly it is deriving. Okay, so try it. Okay, so I think Priya has given the answer that no, no, no. Okay, so if you see that the language, if I drive, so when then n is equal to 1, so a 1 the square will be again a 1, and when the n is 2, so it will be 2 a's and the b will be 4. So that is absolutely fine. There is no problem. Now when the a will be 3, the b's will be 4 and b's will be 3, 3, 3, 3 is 9. Okay, so b will be 9. In the similar way, A will be 4 and the B will be 16. Okay, so there is no possible pattern that exists between A and B. Okay, so if you're thinking, so it is fine that the number of, in this particular context, the number of A's and number of B's are equal, but here the number of A's and number of B's are double. Okay, so the number of B's are double to the number of A's. Here, the number of A's, number of B's are triple to the number of A's. In the similar way, it's quadruple to the number of A's. Okay, so there is no specific pattern that you can find between number of A's and number of B's, because for if you're seeing in every possible question, we are keep generalizing the language. Okay, so in this particular question, every step there is a different language. Okay, so there the number of A's, a number of B's are double the number of A's. Now in this particular question, in this particular string, the number of B's are triple in this particular. So every string is unique in itself. So there is no absolute pattern between these one. So you cannot, you can directly say that there is no possible deterministic push down automata. So because there is no need of a stack here. So how can you put, because there is no, for every possible string, you cannot design a stack. Okay, so for every possible string, so the stack will be one for all the strings. So that is why the stack combination is not possible here. So AP, also keep in mind that if that common difference, so why I am stressing upon the common difference, because if there is a common difference, it means that there is some pattern that exists in the language. Okay, so if there is some pattern, so there will always be a way to draw that pattern in form of the push down automata or in the form of a regular or in the form of finite automata. Okay, in the similar way, see the 11th one. Okay, so in the 11th one, I don't think also, because this is again, there is no pattern between 2, 4, 8, and then there is 16, and then there is 32. Okay, so this is again raised to the power of exponential power of 2. Okay, so for 10th one, it's no. For 11th one, tell me what it will be. Okay, so the 11th one is also no. If you're thinking about it, just take a look and derive a language. Okay, so just take a look, and if the number of A's are 2, suppose if the number of A's is 1, the number of B's will be 2. So that is fine. The number of B's are double the number of A's, but check the other language, check the other string. When the number of A's are 2, then the number of B's will be 2 raised to power 2, which is 4. Okay, so here also I think it is double here. Okay, if it is 2, it is 4. Now check for the A when there is a 3. If it is 3, then the number of B's will be 8. Okay, so there is no common difference. This is not double. I think it is close to the double, but it is not double. So that double of 3 will be 6, but it is 8. In the similar way, if you see, the B will be further going along further and further. Now see, when there is a 4, so it will be 16. So in this particular case, I think it's also not double, because double will be 4 to the 8, but it is quadrupled here. Okay, so it is close to 3 times. Okay, so if you are seeing that again, every particular string is a different, if representing a different pattern. So you cannot use a different stack for every string. So there will be only one stack for one string. So that is why there is no use of a stack in this case. So that you can directly say that this is not a context free as well as a non-deterministic context free language, because you are not able to draw a push down automata, because there is no use of the stack in this particular case. Okay, now take a look at the 12th question. I think it's also a very interesting question. Okay, so I will also tell you one thing about it. So if you have seen this one, take a look at the 12th question. So now most of you will be thinking that it should be, because it is not a regular one. So just let it out of the, get it out of the way. So it is not a regular language. Now see, you will be thinking it should definitely be a push down automata. But if you just take a stack, okay, so what you do, the number of A's and number of B's are equal. So I definitely have to push the number of A's here. So if I push the number of A's, like suppose the n is 2, so the number of A's will be equal to the number of B's will be equal to the number of C's. Okay, so now by seeing the number of B's, I will pop the number of A's. So that is absolutely correct. But now what happened to the number of C's? Okay, so how can I check the number of C's are equal to the number of B's or number of A's also? So there is no other way, I don't think. So if you think that you will not the number of C's on the other side, that is also wrong, because there is a dependency between A, B and C. So there are 3 strings there where there is a dependency between. So if you are seeing in all the questions, if you are seeing of the PDA, we always try to see where there is a dependency between only 2 terminals. What do I say? Only 2 terminals. Okay, so if you think that now this particular question, if you're seeing again the dependency between this A and then B and C, I just want to say what exactly I want to say, that if you're seeing here, if I divide this one like this one, AM, BN, and then CM, and then CN, something like this. Okay, so if you're seeing that the number of A's are equal to the number of C's and the number of B's are equal to the number. So there are 2 variables that we have to check the dependency here also. So in the similar way, if you see other questions where there is a yes here, so here there is a 2 variables. Okay, so we haven't done any question where there is a three-step variable. Okay, so the number of A is equal to the number of B is equal to the number of C's. Okay, so that is not possible in pushdown automata. Keep in mind that context-free, this is not a context-free language. This is a context-sensitive language. It is possible in linear bounded automata. So this is one of the classic example of linear bounded automata, or more specifically a context sensitive language, but you cannot be able to draw a pushdown automata for this particular case. Okay, keep this in mind. So this is no, and this is also no. Okay, so now check this one. Okay, so there are now two dependency. First dependency is that the number of A's are dependent upon the number of B's, but there is also third dependency also, that the number of n's, then the n number should be greater than equal to m. So there are now three dependency. There is three dependency, there is three dependency. Okay, so I've given you the hint, and now check, is it possible or not? Okay, absolutely correct. Because if you see, this is possible that the number of A's and number of B's can be checked. There is no doubt in that. This is very possible that the number of A's and number of B's are equal. But how can you check that the n should be greater than equal to m? So for that, I need another stack that to check the number of A's and number of B's, or that the value of n is greater than equal to n. So there is now a third dependency. So only one stack is possible. Keep in mind, don't think that there are two stack. For pushdown automata, there is only one stack. Okay, so only one stack. So there are other automatas, there are two or three or more stacks are possible, but in this pushdown automata there will be only one stack. Keep in mind, and in that stack we can either check that the n is greater than equal to the m, or we can check that the number of A's and number of B's are equal. So that is why the stack will only check two dependency. Okay, so if you are seeing in at every particular instant when there is a yes here, that it is a particular pushdown automata, you will check this pattern, and you will always find that. Now check this pattern, you will always find that if I write it like this, a raised to power and a raised to power m, then there is a b, and there is at one time we are checking only one dependency. Okay, so check this one. If I push the number of A's and number of B's directly onto the stack, now we are checking this possibility that the m, now this m is equal to, by popping it, and the second one, now we checking the second possibility. Okay, so at a particular instant you can only check like two dependency. At a particular instant you can only check two dependency in a stack. So if there are three dependency, like in these questions, so there is three dependency. First dependency is you have to check the number of A's and number of B's, and the second this is now this is your first dependency, and this, sorry, I think at particular instant we can only check one dependency. Okay, so I'm saying two dependency here. Only one dependency you can check at a particular instant. Okay, so if you see this, I push a number of A's, so all the number of A's are pushed. Now I'm checking one dependency here. So number of B's is one dependency, so I will pop it. Again B, I will pop it. Now I will move on to the next. Now this is again another dependency. At a particular instant, you are checking a one dependency, that the number of A's or number of B's or number of C's are equal at a particular instant. But in this particular case, you have to check the two dependency at the same time. Okay, so in this, the first dependency, that the number of A's and number of B should be equal. Second dependency, that the number of n is greater than the number m. So that is, there is two dependency here. Also there are two dependency. First dependency is that the A's are equal to the number of B's. Another dependency is the number of B's are equal to the number of C's. Okay, so that I cannot do that. Okay, so okay, so in the tut also, so I think I just want to tell you one question for that. I think this is the tut. I will discuss individually, don't worry about it. But today I just I also discussed this tut questions in today's I think it's EB1. So in that I also want to just tell you about a little bit of these things. So I think I have explained it differently. So this question I have given you to the homework part, But there is also one beautiful concept here that I want to explain. Okay, so again, see this, I'll explain you this E and F question. So there is a W is a string, and in this particular string, it is saying that the number of A's should not be equal to the number of B's. Okay, so number of A's should not be equal to the number of B's. Now there is a or. Okay, so when there is a or, it means we are talking about a union like thing. Okay, so it will be this or this. Okay, so if you remember, this is or. Okay, so it a union that the number of B's should not be equal to number of C's. Okay, so in most of the question we have only seen that we have always checked that the number of A's should be equal to number of B's, or the number of B's should be equal to number of C's, something like that. Okay, so it is a little different one. So how can you tackle this one? So you can think of it like that, whenever there are number of A's and B's are not equal, so the scenario will look like this, that you push the number of A's and you pop the number of A's by seeing now the pointer is again standing at a B here. So all the input is not over, and you are again, there is some kind of a scenario this. Okay, another scenario will be that the number of A's are greater than the number of B's. Okay, so you push the number of A's, and by popping it, you will only pop 2 A's, and there is something in the stack. Okay, so by looking at these two cases, you can say that the stack is not empty, that the stack is not reached at Z0. Okay, so the stack is not reached at Z0 and the pointer is not over. Okay, so here the stack is not reached at the Z0, and here the pointer, the fully input is not over. So you, based on that, you can directly say that the stack is if these two cases are occur, so you can directly say that the number of A's and number of B's are not equal. So this can also be done like this. Okay, keep in mind. Now the only problem here is that there is a or here and there is a and here. Okay, so if you remember, you can draw something like push down automata for this particular case. Okay, or you can draw push down automata for this particular case. Because there is a or, you can do it like this. Okay, so here the number of A's will not be equal to number of B's. Here the number of B's will not be equal to number of C's. Okay, so that can happen. So here you can put anything like a epsilon move or something like this. If you remember something that if you are pushing a, because the first step will be similar in both of these things, I think it will be different. If you see an input of a, it will go towards there will be a Z0 at the starting, and you will push a Z0, and then you keep in moving. In a similar way, here you see a B, and then there is a Z0 at the starting, and there will be a something like BZ0. Okay, so now there is a or here, so you can draw. In this particular case, this is not a regular one, so that is absolutely clear that this is not a regular one, because we need a memory to check that the number of A's and number of B's are not equal. Okay, so now if you think now, this is particularly the answer of this is not a deterministic context free language, but it's a non-deterministic context free language. Okay, so non-deterministic context free language. Okay, so this is here a yes, but here it is a no. In the similar way, because of this, and now you have to take care that the number of B's also should be equal to the number of A's. Okay, so here there is a or, either you can follow this path or you can follow this path. But in this, when you put a and here, that it will this becomes not possible. Okay, so again, I will again suggest you, I am only telling the answer to you, that the answer for this one is again no, no, yes, but for this one it is no, no, and no. Okay, so try to do this question yourself. I will explain, I will provide a proper explanation for this E and F in the next lecture, but you should try to solve it and understand this question yourself, that what exactly is happening, because it's a very interesting question and there are many concepts in it. Okay, so try to solve this E and F question yourself. I will tell you about this one in the next lecture. Okay, so now I think we have done with our third module. Okay, so now the next part is our Turing machine. Okay, so it is your last module. Again, there before Turing machine, there is other thing called a linear boundary automata. Don't worry about it. When I done with the Turing machine, I will tell you also tell you about linear bounded automata on the same thing. Okay, so if you understood the Turing machine, the linear bounded automata, to understand a linear bounded automata, it's very simple. Okay, so now Turing machine, if you remember, I've give you a total introduction to it in the starting also. So Turing machine is again built by Alan Turing. So it is based on the
Sir,
same thing. Yes, yes.
sir, in that E part, it won't be a DCFL.
Yeah, it is not. It is not be a DCFL in this E part.
No, sir, in T. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. It will not be a DCFL.
So both of them are F1,
Both of them are.
not CFL.
Yeah, both of this F is all. It's also non-deterministic. This is all three no's here, but for this one there is a yes. Okay, so in non-deterministic part there is a yes. Okay, so you try it if you are able to draw a particular automata or pushdown automata. I will tell you about it, but I think you should try it yourself. I will tell you about this one tomorrow. So that is why I just want you to try it yourself first. I will tell you one or two concept in this questions also. Okay, don't worry about that. How it is not a DCFL or how it is a NCFL, don't worry about it. I will discuss this part in the next lecture. Just I want to introduce you to the problem because till Friday there will I will also upload the solution to it. Don't worry about it. So first I will tell you the solution in the next lecture. Okay, so the answer I am already telling you the answer. So try to draw NCFL. Okay, so non-deterministic pushdown automata for this particular thing and see if it is really it is possible or not. Okay, so it may be possible or maybe not, but I'll tell you in the next lecture. Okay, try it first yourself. Okay, so now Turing machine is again developed by Alan Turing in 1936, if you remember. So after Bombay machine, Alan Turing became obsessed with the different kinds of machine. So again, this is again a theoretical concept. Don't think it's in that time he devised that how can we solve complex mathematical problems by using a Turing machine. Okay, so now that modern Turing machine is called your computer, your PC is also called a modern Turing machine due to a very popular statement that is called your Turing Church thesis. Okay, I'll tell you about it. So due to this particular statement that is given by Alan Turing, your the Turing machine became equivalent to your modern computer. Okay, so I'll tell you about it. Okay, so the first all the things are fairly similar. If you remember, we have started with some tuples to DFA and NFA. There are 5 tuples, I think. In that now in pushdown automata there were I think 6 or 7 tuples. Okay, so just let me confirm so that we do not tell you differently. So there are I think 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 tuples. Okay, so in PDA there are 7 tuples, and I think also the definition of Turing machine will also go along the same way. Now Turing machine is accepting device which accept languages. Now it is saying recursively enumerable set. Okay, so now in Turing machine actually there are 2 languages. First language is called your recursive set, and the second, which is a subset of this recursive set, is recursively enumerable set. Okay, so there is one theorem to I will tell you about this theorem. There is a very important theorem. I will solve that theorem to make you understand that what actually is these recursive set and recursive enumerable set. Don't worry about that. Okay, so type 0 grammars, keep in mind type 0 grammar is also there, and if you remember, type 3 grammars are regular grammars, type 2 grammars are your context free grammars, and type 1 grammar is your context sensitive grammar. Okay, so we haven't done this part. Don't worry about it. When we are done with the Turing machine, I will tell you about something about this also. Okay, so now Turing machine, if you are thinking Turing machine is totally different from other automata that we have studied. Now here there is something called a tape, and that tape is your infinite tape. Okay, so there is actually no there is nothing to it that how long and how large will this tape V, and this finite control does nothing, but it just it can move towards the left or the right of the tape, and it can read as well as write. Okay, keep in mind that Turing machine has the capability to write on the tape. Okay, so in place of this B, I can write a Y, or I can write a 0, I can write a 1, anything. Okay, so the tape consists of infinite cells on which each cell either contains an input symbol or a special symbol. So special symbol here is B. So B is your blank symbol. Okay? I'll tell you about it, don't worry about it. Okay. So now it consists of a head pointer. So this is your head pointer that is based on your finite control, which points to the cell currently being read, or it can be moved in both direction. So there are three important things that you have to remember: that there is a tape that is of infinite length. There is no restriction to length. Another, there is a finite control. Another there is a finite control, and the third most important another, there is a finite control which can move left or right. The third most important thing is your sorry, it's a left and it's a right. The third most important thing is this finite control can write as well as read as well as write on the tape also. Okay, so most of the confusion will be here. It can read the input, but it can write to the same input as well. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay. So now the definition is again very similar. If you think that this is your set of states. Now this is a new thing. This is again your input symbol. This is again your transition. This is your start state. And again, this is a new thing. And this is your final state. Okay, so actually there are only two new things. I can say there are three new things because there is a transition symbol will always be different in different auto. So now what X is a tape alphabet. Okay, so tape alphabet means that whenever you are reading the input, suppose there is an input here, and what exactly is a tape alphabet here? So tape alphabet can be anything which I want. Okay, so I can say that when I read A, in place of A, I want to write a X. Okay, so what can this finite control do? By reading A, it can write a X here. So that becomes your tape alphabet. Okay, so now another now the transition symbol here is a bit different. If you see now, it is saying that Q into X. Now this X suppose now there are many things that is attached to it. Okay, so instead of input written here, there is a tape alphabet written here, and instead of if you remember in pushdown automata, there it is written what is at the top of the stack or the bottom of the stack, or we have to push or pop, something like this. Okay, but in this place we have written that by seeing the tape symbol. Okay, so whatever is being on tape, like a small b, or it can also write it also like a X and Y, the Turing machine can also write on the tape. So whatever it present on the tape, mostly it will be the input. Okay, so that concerns here. So tape alphabet can also be different from the input, so that depends upon it. When I do more question, you will understand what I'm talking about. So if I want to tell you about this, I just want to say that suppose the input here is AB. Okay, so now if this is the input, so now that on the tape input will always be on the tape. So something like A, B, B. So there are A raised to power and B raised to power n here. So there are 3 A's and 3 B's on the tape. Okay, suppose there is 3 A and 3 B's on the tape. By reading the tape, I'm just marking the symbol that I've seen this A, and I'm marking it by a Z here. Okay, so now this tape symbol, what exactly is this tape symbol? First, the tape symbol, I'll say, firstly, the tape symbol was A. Now by reading I, I'm just marking it with other symbol that I have seen I. Okay, so now the tape symbol will become a Z also. In the similar way, I've seen A, I'm moving left, I'm moving now, I've seen B. Okay, now when seeing the B, I'm again marking that I have seen one B here. So I will say that it is my, suppose any variable like something like B. B is already there, so like G. Okay, so in place of B, I have write G to the tape. Okay, now the tape symbol will again become a G. Okay, so now it is saying that from a state, so state can be Q0, Q1, Q2. By seeing a tape alphabet or a tape symbol, everything that is on the tape, I can again move on to another state. and I can read as well as write another tape symbol to it, and I can move either to left or to right. Okay, by seeing a tape symbol, you can either move to left, or you can change the state, or you can either read or write the symbol. So that is the transition symbol for this particular Turing machine. Okay, in the similar way, everything is same. There is one another thing, that is your B. So B is your blank symbol. Okay, so in the tape, because the tape is of infinite length, so if there are 3 A's and 3 B's, okay, suppose there are 3 A's and 3 B's, so all the string will be all the tape, because it is of infinite length. So here it will always be written here as blank B B B. Okay, so it is just if you want to know that your input is over, you just you know that when you occur a blank symbol, it means that your input is over. Okay, so that is the advantage of this. From the left hand side, your input is over, or from the right hand side, because it can move in either left or right. Okay, now if you compare it with the previous automaton, it will be, suppose now there is no stack in finite automata, there is no stack data structure. Yes, this is deterministic. Okay, keep in mind this is deterministic, because there is a deterministic automata and then there is non-deterministic automata. Okay, in push down automata, there is a stack data structure, that is your last in first out, and it is also deterministic. Why it is written no here? Okay, so sorry for that. Okay, it is also deterministic, because at every state you can define that at a particular input it will go to another. Okay, so in a similar way, now in Turing machine, see the data structure here also changed here. Here the data structure is nothing. Okay, so because we are just seeing the set or input here, so there is no need to store any data structure. So that is why there is no need of data structure here. But in this case, we have to remember specific things. That is why the stack data structure is here, and here the data structure is changed towards a infinite tape. Okay, so now if you're seeing, it is exactly a stack, but it is just what do you say? It is just turned towards like this. Okay, so this is somewhat of a stack, but that becomes an infinite stack, and it is turned to the right of it. Okay, so it becomes an infinite tape, and in a stack you can only move into the one direction, but in this tape you can move in two different direction. It can move either to left or to right, but in stack you can only move in one direction, that is upward and downward. Okay, so if there is a pop, you can move downward, but mostly you will always move upward. Okay, so if there is any one thing you want to push, there will be only one direction, or you can say there are two directions, that is your push or pop. Either you have to push the terminal, or you have to pop the variable, pop the terminal. But in this particular context, there is no pushing and popping. So if you have, there are terminal written here, so you either have to see and mark it. Marking can be anything. It can be marked by any other tape symbol, that will be Z, Y, G. It depends upon you what you want to choose. Okay, so now this is all the introduction towards the stack Turing machine. Okay, so I will discuss more questions about it. So there is no point in all the things. If we do a little bit of questions of Turing machine, it will be very easily. It is a very easy concept. If you understand push down automata, it is just the same, but just there is only one operation, that to move left or right. Okay, it is just the same. Okay, so I will discuss this in the next lecture. Don't worry about it. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me now, or you can mail me.